Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Hazard12 here, and today I have got a really good video to share with you guys. It's a new custom tactics video, so you're probably saying, why have you started on the rival screen? I just wanted to show you that I've been using this tactic in rivals, and it's got me my highest skill rating so far of 1953, and also in the top 3% elite players. So this tactic, it's no messing around, it's really good, it's the best I've used all year, and I'm going to jump straight on into it and show you guys now. So we head over on into the squad. That's what my team's looking like at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. You know, it's a really good team. Probably my favourite team I've had at this stage of FIFA so far. So that's great news. Into the tactic we go, because I'm waffling on about loads of stuff you're probably not interested in. You just want to see what it is, and here we go. It's already all set up, so you can just see it straight away. The defensive style is balanced as usual. I know I had in my last video press after possession loss, but I found, not after loss, sorry, after heavy touch. I found sometimes it was dragging my players just a little bit too far out of position for what I was like, and I wasn't playing very well, and I wanted something a little bit more defensively solid, so I decided balance would be a good way to go for myself. Width again, just closer in slightly, just to 45, nothing major about that really. Depth again, 45, I had that on my last tactic. I know I do play with a high depth sometimes, but again, I wanted something just a bit more defensively solid, and I found that dropping the depth ever so slightly was something that was providing me with that little defensive solidity that I needed. Now build up play, I've got slow build up on. It doesn't feel like slow build up is on. I know some people might look at that and be like, I don't really want to play with slow build up. It works, in my opinion, it does work. I've tried it with balance. Balance is perfectly fine as well. So if you want to give balance a go instead, then feel free. But slow build up is perfectly fine. It allows you to just hold that ball a little bit, especially if you've got an opponent who likes to, you know, pressure you. Ooh, didn't mean to press that. Who likes to pressure you a bit. Then the slow build up is definitely beneficial for that, as is possession as well. I used that in my last tactic, and I'm using it on this one too. Really solid. It probably looks like it's a really defensive formation where, you know, you're kind of just passing it around and stuff and waiting for that opportunity to strike. It's not the case. I've got obviously clips at the end of the video that show how the tactic works, kind of goals you're going to score, and I've got 3 games this time rather than 2, purely so you can see a little bit more action, if you like, and you can get a little bit of a better idea about the tactic itself. But yeah, the slow build up and possession, don't be put off by it. It's not going to be a really boring tactic, trust me. It works really well. And then we go with a pretty high width of 75. Now this is interesting purely because, as you'll see in the instructions for the wingers, they've got a cut inside on them. I have that quite high purely so if the fullbacks do join the attack, or if they are an option at least, they are quite wide, because what I find is sometimes if your width's not very high, your fullbacks are quite close to your centre backs obviously, or they're quite close to the centre mids, so that when you try and play the ball to them, someone's getting in the way, or you know, there's not enough space to play to them, or you know, something goes wrong. So just with a higher width, you've got your players in the game just a little bit more stretched and provide you with a few more passing options. Players in the box, I go with 5. Standard, pretty easy stuff, you know, it's up to you what you do, but 5 works perfectly fine. Corners I've dropped down to 1 because I was on stream the other day and I kept conceding counter attacks from corners, so I just dropped it down to 1 because I was getting really frustrated. You can pop it up to 2, it's completely your choice. And free kicks I always have down on 1 anyway, because there's no point in my opinion of having any more. Formation itself, then it's a 4-4-2 with the 2 CDMs, not the regular one. Again, you might think it's quite defensive, that's fine. We'll take a look at the instructions and you can still tell me if you think so afterwards. So on the striker, on the left striker, this is your less pacey striker if you like. I have mine as Banzer, who is going to be just false 9, no other instructions on him. All he does is just drop a bit deeper to try and connect the midfield to the attack, and I have Puskas as just getting behind. You can have him on drift wide if you like as well. Is it drift wide? Is that what the instruction is? Yeah, but I personally don't. I just noted just a few times when you get the ball, and maybe if you pick it up with one of your wingers, you would kind of like it if he could drift into the channels a bit, but he scores that many goals doing what he does that I've not felt the need to change it. But if you want to give it a go and experiment with it, then feel free. I'll move over to the wingers. Like I said, all they have is getting the box across and cut inside. That's the same for both of them. Basically, what you're trying to do is overload the centre backs, which is what I spoke about in the last custom tactic that I did, and it works again really well. What they're doing is one of them's going out wide, one of them's going to be, you know, playing the ball back or creating the chance, either cutting inside with the instruction or going to the byline if you obviously are controlling them. So yeah, you want them both doing the same kind of job and they will both score you goals. The 2 CDMs, I have my more defensive CDM, so in this case it's Barella. It's cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking and cover centre. Pretty standard stuff for your CDM. And then for the other one, I have him as cut passing lanes, cover centre, but get forward. Now Uribe does score quite a lot of goals, getting into the box, arriving late, and getting a shot off on the edge of the box, or inside the 6-yard box. It's really handy to have him getting forward, and you've got more than enough defensive cover, because for the first time in FIFA 22, I've got stay back while attacking on both my fullbacks. Again, I wasn't playing great, and I wanted, like I said, a bit more defensive solidity, and this is genuinely probably the most helpful part of this. I do encourage you to get your fullbacks forward when you can. You can do it manually, you can pick and choose, obviously, when the best time is for you to attack. If you've noticed that you're playing an opponent you consider a bit weaker than yourself, obviously you can manually push them forward as and when you see fit. But for now, playing FIFA, when I was playing a bit poor, I found that this was definitely the most helpful thing for me to do. So yeah, that's the tactics. The centre backs and goalkeeper I don't tend to touch. I know some people have comes for crosses for the goalkeeper. Personally, I've never really tried it that much, so it's not something I've ever really done. But if it's something you do, then obviously feel free to do so. But yeah, I don't touch anything else. That's the tactics. What I'm going to do now is jump into some gameplay and talk about the tactic in a bit more detail and the best way to use it, and hopefully you guys can get the most of it. So I'll catch you in a second. So then guys, we head over on into the gameplay. I know it's 1-0 in this clip already, however the goal I scored was a penalty, so I didn't really feel the need to show it because it's not really tactic related. The thing I want to talk about though mainly is the slow build up that we spoke about in terms of the actual tactic itself. You can see here we've got plenty of players making runs forward off the ball, being very aggressive, not being very passive. I know that maybe people might think slow build up means your players are going to be quite passive going forward, making runs off the ball, but you can see from these first two clips here alone that your players are more than willing to make runs into space and more than willing to make sure that they are attacking the opponent's weak points, if you like. So yeah, that's the first two clips. You can see like that is the difference they're going to make. In terms of defending with the tactic, I do think it's really important to make sure you're using your centre mids. Now I've always said never hold on to your centre mids to defend. I never will recommend that. It's not an effective way to defend, and as soon as you come up against a good player, they are just going to rip you to shreds. So what I recommend is, yes, manually controlling your centre mids, making sure you're bringing them back into position, however also making sure you're defending with your centre backs and your full backs when appropriate as well. So yeah, you need to be able to find that balance. For me, I found that balance quite easily. I hope you guys do too as well, because it's been so defensively solid for me, and I've won so many games using it, and we're not really conceding many goals. I've got some stats at the end of the games that show that the XG comparison is just there is no comparison. My opponents aren't really getting many shots on goal, they aren't creating many clear-cut chances, and that's purely because I'm making sure my players are in the right position. So making sure that you're bringing mainly your more defensive centre mid, but also making sure the centre mid who's on get forward, making sure that you're bringing him back as well into position, so there aren't too many gaps for your opponent to exploit. We've got that stay back while attacking on for the fullbacks as well. Look there, the stats, 0.4 XG. I know obviously you scored, but that's just FIFA. There's not much you can do about that. But yeah, make your fullbacks be stay back while attacking as well, and you've got your two CDMs. The defensive solidity is absolutely massive. But yeah, guys, that's going to be everything. I really appreciate you guys watching. Please do drop a like and subscribe. The support has been immense. I really do appreciate it, and I would really appreciate anything else too. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next time.